Welcome back to the channel, man. Let's talk about this and Pollard situation. There's a lot being said about it, and I thought, let me just drop a video about it and what I think about it. So basically, from the beginning, we didn't know how far they were. We didn't know what was the selection criteria that they're going to be used. I know that Pollard hasn't played any matches for Springboks this season in the Champions League championship. And played until the last game against Argentina, where he got injured. So when the team was announced, a lot of people were surprised, that as well as Pollard were not, included, and it came out that they were actually injured. But that also put a spanner in the works, because when it was announced that they couldn't make it because they were injured, there was also sort of like a back door that was allowed to participate, in people's thoughts, because when Jacques was asked about them, he explained that they, how far they've gone in their recovery, arms injury as well as Pollard, but then he added that, they're going to be on standby. That was the first thing, and then the second thing is they're going to be part of the five players that are going to be going with the Springboks for the warm-up games in the UK against Wales and against New Zealand and London. And then he said, the only way that players can be actually replaced in the touring party was if, firstly, there was an injury, all right, and secondly, there was he said, if players deselect themselves, all right, if players deselect themselves.
Have you made provisions?
No, obviously, if there's an injury, it can come in. Yeah. Obviously, no, this is the World Cup squad. If there's an injury, that's probably the obvious one. Or if a player does something to make sure that he deselects himself, or he does something weird, which is in their hands, which I don't think will happen. Yeah.
Or a player puts up his hand and says, I've got an issue. They deselects itself, but he made a point to actually, speak about it. And the interesting thing about that first conference, or the first press conference after the squad announcement, was that he was answering these questions in English, all right. And for international viewers, it might not mean a lot, but what I found is that when someone is speaking in their second language, they mostly go straight to the truth. They can't play around with the words to actually hide what they say. So I'm going to try and explain, or try and say and give you my thoughts on what exactly is going on. I know that they had a sit down before they left, which was yesterday, with the press, where he went in further, speaking about there's no way that they're going to choose somebody only to tell them that, the other person is ready now. You have to vacate your spot. So
how can you pick a guy in a World Cup squad if you have a heart and tell him, listen, fake an injury, we want to get another guy? I mean, it's mad. We'll never do that. I can't see us. We'll never do that.
I think Jacques was talking about that they have to. The only time that it starts submitting the team is from the 21st. All right, 21st of August, and by the 31st or the 31st of August or the 1st of September, the squads have to be in with World Rugby, but they haven't submitted the team as yet. Okay. The second one is, especially from when he was talking to the press on Saturday, he was talking about that, they expect. All right, not that they want, but they expect. It's based on previous World Cups or previous campaigns that there are going to be injuries, okay? So they expect that there might be injuries, and that's how they're going to come in. Now, of course, you can't really plan for that, all right? But they know that it's going to happen, okay? So how is and Pollard gonna make it to the World Cup? This is my thing. This is my theory, okay? Don't hold me to it. It's up for discussion, and I hope you guys, comment downstairs and tell me what you think. So something interesting happened all right, with the squad selection. There were 4 scrum-offs, okay? And that's where a lot of people are actually going to and thinking, you know what, maybe one of the scrum-offs have been told, that, if something happens, you're going to have to jump out. I don't really think it's like that. So you've got Kobus Reinach, you've got Faf, you've got Williams, and you've got Hendrickson. Faf and Kobus, let's put them to the side. Hendrickson hasn't played, all right, due to, I think he was injured, as well as he had family issues that he has to deal with. And then you've got Williams, who got concussed in the game against Argentina at Ellis Park. That's the game before the last game that's the last game actually in the championship. All right. My theory, okay, is that one of those guys are gonna deselect themselves. By deselect, they're not gonna do anything wrong, but I think they can make it easy for Jacques by saying, you know what, Jacques, maybe let's say it's Hendrickson. I'm not in the right mental space, all right, to be able to actually go through with the World Cup. That's my first theory, if you want to put it that. All right, guess. All right. And why I say Hendrickson, because he was training with the team, training with the team towards the last game, which was at Ellis Park. All right. He had started training with the team, but he still didn't go to Argentina with the team. Janchis went to Argentina. He was a reserve scrum-half in the game in Argentina. So is he ready? He also hasn't played during the season, right? Is he ready? Or is he going through and thinking, okay, maybe, mentally I'll be in the right space, but there's also that other side where you can say, you know what, maybe I'm not in the right space based on, my stuff and my family, what's going on. And I'm taking that from last year when Australia was playing in Argentina. Hooper, the captain, he left camp and went back to Australia because he had, supposed mental issues or challenges that he was going through, right? So he put up his hand and said, you know what, I'm not in the right frame of mind to actually be staying here. And he had actually played the first game. Australia played 2 games in Argentina last year, and he played the first game. And then for the second game, he said, I can't be here. I need to just clear my mind. And he left camp and went to Australia. So I'm thinking that's a possibility. All right, thinking that he didn't play the last game, and also there's that issue. In terms of Grant Williams, he got hit in the last game of the championship. He got concussed, and he was given 2 weeks to actually recover. If you know concussion, you can claim it's 2 weeks, but it can also be 3, 4, whatever weeks. All right. So I'm thinking to myself that also gives them an out. All right, where Williams can say he's failed the test to actually be able to play, and he can say, you know what, I'm not ready either. He can jump off. That's only a theory. I want to know what you guys think. I was just been thinking about this. Those are the theory. And of course, to get those 2 guys in, maybe there's going to be an injury within these next 2 games. All right, so that's what I'm thinking. All right, it's just a theory. So I just thought I'd drop this video, and what you guys think about it, you guys let me know. But it's interesting because when you look at the standby players, there's sort of like a player for every position. So you've got the hooker, you've got Joseph Durba there, you've got Thomas de Toit is there for the props. You've got someone for the locks. You've got Russ for the loose forwards. You've got Janchis, for the scrum half. If a lock or somebody like that, or a lock or one of the loose forwards gets injured, Jacques has already intimated that they will be willing to actually put in somebody else because they are well stocked there. All right, they've taken 4 locks and I think 5 loose forwards, so they can juggle. There's people like Peter Steph that can play 2 positions, So they can juggle that, and I think he's also again left a door open for that. So you can have a backline player get injured, because I'm in a whole lot of backline players, and they can come in. Or you can get a lock or a loose forward getting injured, or they can come in. So yeah, I think the way they've been doing it is pointing towards that they're actually planning at some stage for those guys to join them. I know that they're gonna try and defend the squad, the integrity of the squad, and I'm not questioning that. I just feel that there's no underhandedness, but I think they've left the door open with these things that I'm raising, in terms of Hendrickson, Williams, as well as the injuries, whether they happen in the back line or within, the locks, as well as the loose forwards, especially those positions, because those positions are high attrition rates. The injuries happen a lot within those positions. So let's see what happens. It's really interesting. But yeah, so you guys tell me what you think. I thought I'll just drop this video for that. Peace out.